What's up, guys? Jairo from the Grind Fitness Training System, and welcome to the next topic. All right, so deceleration training for fighters. Deceleration is basically braking. It's a fancy way of saying braking. So the topic here is why braking prevents injury and builds control. So the first thing you got to understand is speed and power is the be-all and dominate in almost all training. It doesn't matter whether you're a grappler, whether you're a boxer, whether you're a striker. If you have speed and power, you're going to dominate, okay? But you also got to understand you got to train for yourself. You got to safeguard yourself, okay? Because the missing link, if you have a lot of speed and a lot of power, is learning how to decelerate. Now, what is deceleration, okay? Deceleration is what's called eccentric braking. It's just a fancy way of saying controlling momentum and being able to absorb force, okay? So think about what I'm saying there. Controlling momentum and absorbing force. This type of training translates directly to combat sports because you not only need to learn to control momentum of yourself, but you need to be able to absorb force that's being applied to you by whoever your opponent is. So learning to do this is extremely vital as a combat sport athlete. Okay? Why fighters need it? The first thing, it prevents knee injuries. Exactly. Why would you not want to do it? Okay? It sharpens movement during pivots, takedowns. Usually pivots, takedowns are usually when you accidentally get injured. And that accidental injury is usually dictated because you're not learning how to decelerate properly. And the muscles that you use to decelerate actually help you pivot and do things within your combat sport. And then the last thing that why fighters need it is that it trains your CNS or your nervous system to handle chaos and then come to a sudden stop. We've all been there, especially if you're any good at your sport. Craziness, 10, 20 seconds of stillness. Craziness, 10, 20 seconds of stillness. That's why decelerating or learning how to brake for your body is extremely important as a combat athlete. So program tips. First thing you're going to do is any type of drilling that you do for braking, you got to do it before you actually get yourself fatigued. So you don't do it after, let's say, your main lift. Let's say you're in the gym and you're doing deadlifts. You don't do braking drills after you do the deadlifts. You do it before the deadlifts. You don't want to fatigue your body and then do these drills because you run the risk of accidentally hurting yourself or overtraining that muscle tissue. You're better off doing it beforehand. The second programming tip is you want to pair it with explosive drills. So, good example is a box jump to a break combined with, let's say, like a snatch or a clean. Snatch is a little bit too much. I would say a clean. Okay? You're doing explosive movement in one direction and then you're hitting the brakes in the opposite direction. Okay? And then the very last one is focus on unilateral work. I said it in a bunch of videos. Unilateral work is the way to go. Try to do a blunt of your work as a combat athlete to be unilateral. So you should only have like 4 or 5 main lifts and everything else should be single leg. Injury insights, why this stuff is important. So they've actually done research where ACL injuries go down by 50%, not 10%, not 50% by practicing deceleration drills. Why would any of you not want to do that? Exactly. They're drills that you can do within your regimen already. Do them, I'm telling you. On top of that, the braking drills improve your coordination, which who doesn't need improved coordination? So the last comment that I have here is train to go fast as well as to stop fast. So a lot of us work on being fast, sprinting, doing Olympic lifts. That's all being fast, but not enough of us train to stop fast. And you got to do both. You got to train to go fast as well as learn how to stop fast. And I think that's it, guys. Cool. Thanks for watching. As always, comment down below. If you have questions, concerns, comments, or you want to speak to me, shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks. See you in the next one.